Hang on one sec. Yes, that would be a good idea. Hold on one sec. I'm connecting to YouTube. Hang on one sec. Yes, that would be a good idea. Hold on one sec.
Casey went to voicemail. If everybody can mute their cell phones as well, it'd be helpful too.
Okay, I believe you guys are good to go. Looks like you do have one attendee calling in, so we'll see when you get to the open public comment period. I'll allow them to speak.
Terrific. Thank you. Okay, welcome everybody to the April 1, 2021 Wyckoff Board of Health meeting. We're in the business of the work session part of the meeting. Madam Secretary, do you want to read the important information to start our meeting off? You're on mute.
So sorry. Please take notice that in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6, and in consideration of Executive Order Number 103 issued by Governor Murphy on March 9th, 2020, declaring a state of emergency in the state of New Jersey, the Board of Health of the Township of Wyckoff does hereby notify the public that to protect the health, safety, and welfare of our citizens, the meeting of the Board of Health of the Township of Wyckoff scheduled for Thursday, April 1st, 2021 will be conducted virtually through the Zoom video conferencing application, and it will be live streamed on the Township of Wyckoff's YouTube channel. The work session is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. and the public business meeting will begin at 8 p.m. These measures are implemented to allow members of the public to observe the meeting via live streaming and to provide the ability to comment during the periods for public comment during the meeting through Zoom telephone call in technology. Joining the meeting by telephone will be utilized as a security against the sharing of inappropriate video contact. General instructions regarding access to the meeting is posted on the Wyckoff website's homepage at www.wyckoff-nj.com as a news item. The regular work session meeting of the Wyckoff Board of Health is now in session. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting appears on our annual schedule of meetings. A copy of said annual schedule has been posted on the bulletin board in Memorial Town Hall. A copy has been filed with the municipal clerk, the Record, the Ridgewood News, and the North Jersey Herald and News, all newspapers having general circulation throughout the Township of Wyckoff. At least 48 hours prior to this meeting, the agenda thereof was similarly posted, filed, and mailed to said newspapers. Formal action may be taken at this meeting.
Thank you so much. Maureen, can you put on the Pledge of Allegiance for us, please? Let's start our meeting with that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Pull up the flag. There you go.
Okay.
I pledge
I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag
The
of the
United
of the
United States,
United States of America,
and
to
to
and the
the
republic for which it stands,
which is
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under God,
with liberty
indivisible,
for all.
with
liberty,
and justice.
justice for all. Thank you so much. Cindy, would you do a roll call, please?
Sure. Dr. Yee?
Seems like everybody's on mute right now.
Yeah, okay, he's waving.
Yeah, I think wave your hand.
Dr. Clark?
Here.
Devalina Sen? Donna Garbatio?
Here.
Michael Sparazic,
Here.
Lynn Spreen Raffo,
Here.
Peter Melchiong.
He's here. He just came off.
Okay, Linda Brock,
Here.
Casey Culinary, Michelle Murati. Laura's not here, and myself.
Great. Lauren may be calling in. She's on the road in between different assignments. So we may see her call in by phone, but not by video. So thank you very much, Madam Secretary. All right. And we did the Open Public Meeting Act. This is the point of the meeting where if the public has any comments, Maureen, you can open up for the public at any point, anything they may have of interest that may be helpful or any kind of information that maybe we can help with, or we can try to get information for them if they need it. So, and I see Lauren saying that she's on the phone right now.
Oh, that must be the one caller, 201.
I'm here.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
that's Lauren. Thanks, Lauren. Welcome. So anybody from the public want to comment? This is the time and place. You have 5 minutes maximum per speaker.
There are no other callers, Dr.
Okay.
Clark.
Seeing that part, then we'll close that part of the meeting, the public comment section. Since the work session usually is a bit abbreviated because we can incorporate it into our own meetings, I think we should just move right into the public part of the meeting. There's a lot of information that's going on and throughout what's happening in the health world. So let's take it right now. Let's go into the approval of the minutes from the March 11, 2021. Has everybody had a chance to review it? Since we don't have any, you can't review it. It's been a little bogged down. Cindy's had a lot of work on her plate and it's in the process of getting done. Cindy, I don't have a problem. If next month, if you want to present those minutes, that would be fine. That'd be fine. There was nothing pending, very urgent on those minutes, but I wanted to see if anybody raised their hand. So, all right. All right. I wanted to give you my report on what's going on. There's a lot of interesting things going on. Of course, as everyone knows and is starting to hear, the numbers are starting to climb a bit. Deaths have been kept contained, which is really good, and that may be partially from vaccine, partially from people still doing social distancing, masking up. I think people are doing a pretty good job with the masking up. So I think they just need to be diligent on what they're doing. Anyone who wants to listen to this video later on YouTube, the state site is covid19.nj.gov. And that provides a wealth of information from statistics and everything else that's out there. The vaccine rollout is going, although sometimes sloggingly along. There are 1,700 providers in the state of New Jersey that are allowed to provide the vaccine, but there's only enough vaccine for 700 sites. So even though there's 1,700 providers, only 700 sites can provide the vaccine. So that's what may be creating that backlog. All right. So, but the vaccine is rolling out quite nicely. Last month when I talked to you, I had numbers here of last month there were 1.6 million people fully vaccinated. And currently there are 475,000 Bergen County residents that are fully vaccinated. Still not there. It's 19% of the total population of Bergen County. So, eventually the rollout's coming. You see people are scrambling for the vaccine from CVS and Rite Aid, and the Bergen County site, the Meadowlands, is still a disaster there. I mentioned last month there were 2.7 million doses given. So far this month there are 4.3, so it's almost double. So, it is getting out there. It's just moving along slow. People keep saying Bergen County is the worst. Right now, it is not the worst. Essex County is the tops. They have 609 new cases. Bergen County has 449. Essex leads with the deaths as well. They're ahead of Bergen County by about 500. Interesting thing, there's been, still push and pull. Parents want the kids to go back to school. School is being diligent by trying to watch to make sure that they don't have any kind of spread, and trying to do their best. But from everything I'm hearing, it seems to be the sports the numbers are really climbing in the sports world, whether it's, direct contact with hockey or softball or soccer or, things like that, lacrosse. So that seems where athletes are the ones that seem to be getting it. And so that's been a challenge because we want those kids to be physically fit. I want everybody to understand also too, that the state defines what an outbreak is. The Bergen County Department of Health follows along what the state does. The state is telling them what an outbreak is, and the outbreak is 2 or more lab confirmed cases. So it doesn't take much to be an outbreak. And their wording says that there are 2 more lab confirmed cases among staff or students with onsets within 14-day period, we all know that, who are epidemiologically linked within a school setting, but they do not share a household or they were not ID'd as close contacts with each other. So it's a challenge. You got how many kids in the school, and if you have 2, that's the state defines an outbreak. It's not the county that's doing it. So I know there's been a lot of pressure on the county saying you're too strict, but it's really the state that's coming out with that information. Last week they were in the double digits of cases in the schools, not maybe 10, maybe a little above that. There's less this week, and that's a good thing. The state is expanding the vaccinations on April 5th. We're at April 1st right now. They're going to expand it to include additional essential workers, people that are 55 years and over. 16-year-olds with intellectual and developmental disabilities now can go for the vaccine. So that's good that the rollout is really starting to pick up there. Interesting thing, and I have in the news later on, but I think it's pertinent to we're on COVID right now, that they've come out with a portable laptop kit. It's the shape of a laptop, but it's a kit you can purchase, and it'll be coming out soon, that can diagnose COVID-19. And also, if you have a highly infectious variant, everybody's talking about variants, within 3 hours you can have the you can do it. Test takes about 15 minutes, but within 3 hours you can detect the variant. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool stuff that they're working on, and you can see the geniuses and the brains out there are really moving along with this virus. I mentioned earlier on, a year ago we were in the middle of the highest part of this pandemic. Again, I have to thank Cindy. It was pandemonium. It was a pandemonium pandemic last year. The phone never stopped ringing. The issues never kept coming, and it was almost like just juggling balls. What happens if this person, they're at a funeral parlor, at the funeral home? How do you take care of it? Do you have a screening? Do you have a wake? Do you not have a wake? Do you bury them? Crematoriums were backed up. I mean, you can imagine all the different schematics of what was going on. And so it was a challenge. So it's a different year, a year later, although we can't let our guard down. It is much better this year than it was last year. Even though the cases are up, you can see the deaths are way, way, way down. That's a blessing for everything. So that's my report as Bergen County, as the Board of Health President. Michelle, I wanted to go to you. I wanted to hear what's happening. It's nice to see you again on the different things. What's going on with inspections? What's happening on? Anything we need to know about that the county is working on that we can bring to the public as well?
Yeah, so inspection wise, I know you guys don't have the report in front of you because it's the first of the month, so we're early this month. We had a whole bunch of inspections done this month, probably about 2 full pages worth, so like 20, 25 inspections. The only issue was at the Wyckoff Bagel place. They were posted conditional. They have since been re-inspected. The issue there, I know Mike had asked, they had some mice droppings and some second page violations, which they have cleaned up, and again, now are satisfactory. And that was really only the issue this month. We are starting to look at the Vista. The Vista is going to be opening, the pool and the kitchen there. So I've been working with the project manager there. And actually, I'm going on Monday to do my first preliminary inspection or walkthrough, really. So it's exciting.
Very good. Questions for Michelle? Anyone from the board have questions for Michelle on any issues out there? Michelle, just for the general public who may listen to this now or maybe later on, can you explain what conditional means when a business gets conditional, and then how does it change back to satisfactory?
Sure. So business is conditional normally when we find any major violations, what we call like first page violations, usually having to do with hand washing, temperature, any sort of infestation. We post the restaurant conditionally satisfactory. So we usually do a couple follow-ups, make sure that they're remediating whatever issue was there at the time of the inspection. And usually about 2 weeks later, we do a reinspection, make sure they're operating and they're up to par with the standards of the state code.
Great. Great. And you can see, as we can see, the restaurants in town, you only had one conditional, everybody else was satisfactory on the inspections.
Yeah, which is
great. The conditional was brought right back up to satisfactory. I think the public could can be very comforted to know that our food sources in town are well inspected and well taken care of, and people are complying properly.
Yeah.
You know, I know your members go out and they try to educate as well, correct? It's not just
Yeah,
to come a
we
hard
do.
line, educate them.
Yeah, we do COVID compliance as well as the inspection. So they go hand in hand. When they're there for the inspection, they do COVID compliance and educational things with the restaurants.
Can you give a little overview what COVID compliance means for someone that might be watching this later on?
Yeah, it's having signage, mask wearing, glove wearing. You know, when you see the little decals on the floor, things like that. Everything that we've talked about for the last year. You know, hand sanitizers, having the stations available by the cash register, the shields. You know, we're all so used to it now.
Yeah. And I've gone around town, different spot checks of things, and I've got to tell you, Wyckoff has been very, very good. People have not let down their guard as it comes to restaurants and business. They've done their job. The takeout industry is booming in town here, as you can imagine.
Oh, yes.
You can see it if you go by on a Saturday night. Some of the places, there's lines waiting to get their pickup and take it out. And that's a good thing for the business. We want to keep them, make sure they thrive as well. But we want to make sure the food is safe to be consumed for our general public who may not know. They go in, they order the food. We want them to be comforted to know that it's safe and consumable, and that's a good thing. Okay, any questions for Michelle? All right, Lauren, you're on the phone. Anything we need to know about from the county level? What's happening there? I'm sure it's all quiet and everyone's just sitting around eating bonbons. Is that correct?
Yeah, super boring, you know. No, we're well on the way at Newbridge with the vaccination site working there. They added a few special clinics for educators. We've still got the mobile testing site and looking into perhaps adding a drive-through vaccination site that may be in the works and coming soon. Hopeful that the supply will increase. So like you said earlier, those other suppliers can get their hands on it, because a lot of them are pharmacies and doctors' offices where the seniors and people with difficulty traveling far do have access to. So looking forward to that. Still doing the complaint investigations through our office for any COVID-related complaints, and contact tracing for businesses. And yeah, we're still trudging along. Disappointed to see that the entire state moved into high again on that Cali scale. Didn't look like any region was left in moderate or low at all. We've all moved back up into high. So those 14-day quarantines are a killer, but we just got to deal with it for a little bit longer. And unless you had questions, I guess that's kind of where we're at.
Anyone have questions for Lauren?
Yeah, Steve, if I may.
Yes, Mike.
Lauren, is the county starting or the state starting? And Steve, I can't talk tonight. I'm sorry. Steve touched on it briefly before, that a lot of the variants are starting to pop up. And one of the news stories that are hitting a lot now too are people who are 2-dose vaccine post 14 days are getting ill again. You know, is there any attempt, or is it too early to be able to track to see if they're coming down with one of the variants, and that's what's causing the illness because of lack of coverage possibly from the original COVID vaccine?
They're tracking it and looking for it, but unfortunately not every doctor's office and lab are testing for the same thing. So we're going to be a little bit behind until they start getting everybody on the same page with that. But I know they're concerned about it, because that's why even if you're fully vaccinated or have been diagnosed COVID positive in the past, when you travel, they're still requiring the travel restrictions and advisories to be in place for those. So a lot of people feel like, well, I'm fully vaccinated, so I can travel and not worry about quarantining when I come back. But it's those variants that are just right now, like you said, a big, I don't want to say unknown, but they're working on it, and it is a concern. So I think that's part of the reason why they've left that travel advisory in place for those that even are fully vaccinated. So we'll see. But it is good news about the deaths and hospitalizations. But hopefully this turn that we're taking here won't go too much higher.
And Pfizer just released, I think it was yesterday, that they had coverage out 6 months off of the vaccine, so which is good news too. Thank you. Appreciate
That's
it.
great. Sure.
And the ambulance corps is also struggling with, since the majority of us are vaccinated, when do we then start to respond to COVID calls? But the question is, yeah, you have to still be very careful, even though you're vaccinated. So we're struggling with on the ambulance corps with this. That's been the hot topic of our meeting.
Now, I was browsing a little before with the CDC site, and they said even though you're fully vaccinated, you could pass the disease on, but it's minimalized. They're saying that, you know, really, if you're vaccinated, the chances of passing along is really, really quite low. Could it happen? Sure. Do you want it to happen? No, but it's very low. Lauren, you mentioned about a mobile testing site. Where are they doing that at?
They're looking at Bergen Community College. Don't quote me on that yet. It's still in the works. An announcement has not been made yet, but I believe it should be coming.
Okay. And are you getting any feedback about the Meadowlands site?
I haven't heard too much about it.
Yeah, because there's still long lines waiting. Yeah, and I want, people are saying long lines, there's long lines going on there, and that they're waiting. If it's rain, they've got to stand out there. They've got a bad leg or they're arthritic, and it's really quite a challenge there.
It's so hard for those that have difficulty traveling. It really is, especially there because it's so big and spread out. I can tell you, I mean, I see the traffic going in and out because I am in charge of that American Dream project. So I'm there a couple times a week, and I can see the traffic. So Newbridge is definitely. They seem to be going a little bit more speedy. They have, they can try to accommodate, wheelchairs or those needing a little bit more time, a little bit easier. But I mean, it's a state versus a private site, so I'm not quite sure. Again, going back to just hoping that those J&Js can hit the doctor's offices and pharmacies. There's a lot of homebound seniors. Homebound people as well that are waiting for that, and I think that one will travel better. So hopefully when that's in better supply, we can try to get that out there too.
Agreed. Probably the county that's done the best has been Essex County. That has been clockwork there. From the time you walk up to the time you walk out is approximately 25 minutes, and that includes your 15 minutes of sitting. They have you follow the dots. They have people lined up. And you can't make a move. Everybody tells you where to go, what to do. Stations are set up. It's in a Kmart there, and everybody has raved about it, just saying it is the best that it's been in the state. And they're moving big numbers through there. Yeah. So, and so that's why I'm not sure why the Meadowlands is having their challenges. I can tell you that today is 8 weeks to the day that I went in person to register the Meadowlands, and I still haven't gotten a call. 8 weeks.
Oh my God.
So that's really a disgrace. And I'm okay, but I worry about the people who can't get to it. That's a problem. That's not good. That's not good at all.
They should model the one that is working well. They should be able to model that and provide the tricks of the trade there to the others. But I don't know that on the state level what that feedback is like. Right.
Thank you, and I appreciate all you do, and thanks for the information and your accessibility when we have questions.
You as well, all of you as well. Thanks, and stay safe and enjoy your holiday.
All right. Questions for Lauren?
I'll stay on if you need.
Thanks, Lauren. Please do. Questions for Lauren on it? Anybody? All right, do we have anything on any food issues otherwise, Michelle, that you can think of, or anything going on with food handling? Any temporary licenses people are asking for?
No.
Nothing?
We haven't done any in about a year.
Yeah.
No.
I'm wondering if some things might pop up. I know that there's some of the organizations talked about doing fish and chips, doing a beefsteak, but a drive-through type of thing. I see you nodding, Michelle. Have you heard anything or not yet?
No.
Yeah.
I
I've
don't
heard
get them either.
passengers doing that. Yeah. And fish and chips drive-throughs too. And then, they're looking to raise monies, that kind of thing. Okay. Nothing really with the Walbrook Baby Well Clinics. That's been pretty quiet. Anything going on with wellness or stigma-free that, Donna, that you're hearing in the schools? You're on mute, Don.
Well, it's been challenging over the last, I would say, several weeks. We've seen really an uptick in cases. Like you mentioned about the sports, it's not so much the sports itself, it's just the behaviors outside that bring it in to the the sports scene. So that's been very challenging, and it came to a point where we had to close school, go virtual because of the staff. We've seen, you know, a lot of families now in town that are all getting the virus. Some of them are, you know, obviously sicker than others, but it's been a challenging last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Is there anything on antigen, anything new in the field of antigens? Anybody know?
In what way? If you can maybe expand.
Oh, just, you know, like the levels and anything, any studies going on about that? Like how long after, you know, people are testing positive for antibodies or nothing?
Dr. Yee, have you heard anything or seen anything come across your desk?
In terms of, I've seen people still test positive 14 days after
Yeah.
the initial test. They come in, they ask for testing, and I usually tell them too that the guidelines don't really require testing unless work or school requires it. I've seen a couple of people recently test positive 14 days after, but I think that because the test is so sensitive, it's picking up a lot of small particles, and I don't think particularly that they're infectious because they have no symptoms anyway. So I don't think that there's a really good gauge. I mean, it's almost kind of tough to tell people not to test, and then at the same time, when they test positive 2 weeks later, that what do you tell them? Can they go back to work? I mean, it's a tough call.
Yeah.
I think its guidelines are pretty clear. I mean, you should be okay.
You there? All right. Sound like it froze up for a second there. Don, I'll start doing some searching on the web, and we'll see if we can find some things, and I'll share it if I can find it, you know.
Steve,
Go ahead, Lynn. Yeah.
I've seen, you know, like Dr. Yee said, patients still testing positive 2 weeks after, but not symptomatic. But I've also even seen people testing positive even over a month out of being positive. So I'm not sure if it has to do with the amount of viral load, the exposure, as even 30 days after testing positive, mostly coinciding with patients that have been inpatient admissions.
Okay. Thank you. Your signal's breaking up a little bit too. Sorry about that. Okay. I wanted to just go around the table real quickly because I wanted to get everybody's viewpoint on different things. I'm going to start with our township liaison and put him on the spot. You've got where seniors can call in with the mayor, and you and the mayor have been working on a project to try to get people more information about the vaccine. How's that rolling out? What kind of numbers are you seeing? Are you getting good response, and are you getting vaccines for them?
Yeah, we've been doing that for a few weeks now. We have a voicemail set up at town hall. I check the messages every day around 4 o'clock, and then I send them over to the mayor, and then she is in the direct contact with we have about 4 or 5 volunteers that are registering the seniors who are having trouble with technology, and then they're also staying on with them, you know, sometimes beyond registration to also help them get vaccine appointments. And we probably have had about between 30, 35 seniors that we've been able to help register. I'm not sure how many of them actually have gotten a vaccine appointment yet, but we've gotten them registered so far.
Yeah. Just the fact that you have this resource for them is huge, because a lot of them just don't know where to turn. You know, they don't have internet, they don't have an email address, and you're offering a valuable service from the community. And I think it's a great thing what you and the mayor have been doing. And hopefully more and more people can be told about it. We need to get that word out there somehow.
Yeah, and we have the other people. You know, we say just leave your name, number, but a lot of people are looking for vaccines locally, and I know you've hit on that before. You know, so hopefully, as more of them get into the CVS, the pharmacies, the doctors' offices, that will also help the seniors more.
Yes, I had mentioned that that COVID-19 site, the state site, you can register on there, and they'll continue. I think it's every 10 minutes they're updating where vaccines are available at different sites. Because right now, if you go on to CVS or any of them, everything's fully booked.
Yeah.
And there's little tricks. You go in through Alabama and then you come in and then you book through New Jersey. And that's still not working. Everything's just fully booked all the way down the line. You know, you have to go on at 12:01, go on at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's just unreasonable.
Right.
That's just unreasonable for people to do, you know, and so, but they're doing the best, and we're doing the best we can do. Anything else in the news? Anything else? Anybody have any out there? Any old news, any new news, anything that we need to be working on or you want to keep an eye on in the community? Okay, sounds good. This was not bad. We covered a lot in a short time, and that's a good thing. So, Lauren, again, I want to thank you. Thank you for keeping us updated. Linda, you have your hand up. Sure.
Yeah. I like the fact that you're keeping us updated on the water stuff and the lead in the water. And I think it's interesting that we should still keep filtering our water through a Brita or anything like that. I like that's updated for us constantly.
Okay, thanks, Lynn.
Yeah,
I forgot to mention that also last Thursday, I did a Zoom meeting with the Wyckoff Rotary, and I'm in the Lions Club as well. They wanted to know about the Lions Club, but the bulk of it was about the Board of Health and about the COVID issues. And I talked about the water. Most of them had not seen the video. And so I went through different things they can do by running their water, getting a Brita or something similar like that. So it was good. They were very happy with that. And there was a lot of good information and resources for them, you know. So I wanted to ask the board, I taped something with a gentleman from the county, but they had a problem. The system had a problem. I was thinking about doing another one of the videos on the safety of the food in the community. Everybody, you feel like that's a good idea? I mean, people don't know. How is their food safe? What does satisfactory mean? What does conditional mean? How do they know that, their candy bars in a gas station are okay, or their food at a Chinese or an Italian restaurant is okay? Anybody have any aversion if I do that or don't do it? Good idea, not good idea? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
I think it's
That would be
always good
interesting.
to, you
it's good. Yeah.
can't go wrong when you educate people with
Yeah.
the correct information.
Yeah.
And it's not just hearsay. So
Yeah.
I always think it's a good thing.
And we bring in the authority, bring in Bergen County, like that. This week I posted something on the White Coffeeans page in town about mammograms. I had mentioned last month not to get your mammogram too close to your injection because the lymph glands can swell up. And so I put that on the site for, especially for ladies, of course. But, I would think that lymph glands could swell up on the men as well. So, but,
Men do get
yeah.
Men do get breast cancer.
Yes. Not at the rate that women do, but absolutely they get it. They get it. So that's why I put it out there. Just I thought that was informational, and it came from the CDC. Actually, it came from the Breast Cancer Society, something like that, or Breast Awareness Society. So, okay. If there's no information, anybody else have anything else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So
All right.
moved.
Mike, second by Linda. Any discussion on it? Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, and we'll talk next month.
All right.